Hey man, it's Phil X, and you're watching Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen. And Guitar Tales, Guitar Tales. Like, what else do you need, right? Guitar. We're geeks, nerds, gear, inspirations, positive vibes. Look out.
What a great show, and one of my favorite bumpers of all time, the great Phil X, lead guitar player for Bon Jovi, friend of the show, multiple time guest on the show. Thank you so much, Phil, for doing that for us. We have a fabulous show tonight, really an exciting one. But before we get to it, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Confections of a Rockstar. This is a great place to visit. I want you to go there. Asbury Park. You're having fun in Asbury in the day or at night. Swing by if you want. Delicious food made for rock enthusiasts. This is where you got to go. Even the famous people go there. And Scott is a great friend of the owner. Look at that. There's Alice Cooper over there, who I once saw in Boca Raton, Florida, by poolside. Didn't know it was him. Haven't had him on the show yet, but I bet he would do it. So Confections of a Rockstar, check it out. Great products, and they're supportive of this great show. So we appreciate it so much. Scott can join us in a second. We have Jeremy Laura, and this is a cool show. Jeremy Laura is an ambassador for Frank Stallone Guitars and also a designer. He's all set up with a very cool looking guitar, and he's looking pretty cool tonight too. And he's going to talk to us about the journey that took him from being a guitar player to a guitar designer and then an ambassador for a really cool guitar brand. So why don't you both join us here in the Noise Network studios?
Well, first, let me pop in and shoot on to the side I like to be on. There we are.
That's your good side. My big
Yes.
schnoz. We want you on the right side of me, or else that people have to look at this.
I like to say good evening, sir, and happy early birthday to you. Dave's birthday is tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow on my birthday.
So this is technically like a birthday show, right?
It is like a birthday show. I'm turning 45.
That's right. I have a quick Alice Cooper story if you want to hear it. My dad met Alice Cooper on a golf course with another friend of his. And his friend's like, Hank, I'd like you to meet Alice. And he's like, your name is Alice? Your parents named you Alice? And it was kind of like an Abbott and Costello skit for like 20 minutes until his friend let off talk. This is Alice Cooper. Oh, you're Alice Cooper. I didn't recognize you with the golf stuff on.
I have a similar story. So when I was married, my wife and I, it was before kids, I think, we were staying at some nondescript hotel in Boca, a cheap hotel. And her friend's mom, who was probably in her 70s or later, was by the pool. Every day we saw her talking to some old man, like an old man. And this is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And we said hi to him a few times, and it was just sort of a nondescript, older, skinny guy. We find out at the end of the week it was Alice Cooper who was in town to play golf.
There you go. He loves to play golf.
He really does.
Let's bring in our guest this evening, Jeremy.
Hell yeah.
Laura. And we're all, I don't like the way that's set up. That's better. So, hi, good evening, Jeremy. Where you coming? Where you dialing in from? Where you live? Where are you?
Yeah. So
what am I trying to say?
I'm about an hour outside of Detroit if you went northwest. So if you're a Red Wings fan, I blog for hockey. The captain of the Red Wings grew up about 20 minutes from where I'm at. He had a little town called Waterloo. So yeah, it's I've been in Michigan, my whole life. America's mitten. Why not?
Very cool.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Like, if you grew up around Detroit, that's kind of what you think of. But then we started going west. There's like 50 vineyards on the West Coast now.
Wow.
And they're ranked because I guess it takes like a decade for the grapes to really start to get the full bouquet of what's going on in the soil. And they've got restaurants that fly in seafood by helicopter now out there, kind of that real high end. So you got everything in between. Love the state. Love being in Michigan.
Awesome.
Who's the famous attorney who's on TV all the time by you? He does all the commercials.
Well, Jeffrey
Dave Cohen Jr.
does.
What's that?
Jeffrey Feiger does a lot of them.
No, there's another guy.
And Sam Bernstein.
Yeah, Sam.
Those are the two.
I've stayed at Sam's house in Detroit. I hung out with Sam Bernstein. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very nice house. Yeah, about 15 years ago. But I knew you would know the name.
Yeah, one of his sons is completely visually impaired and I think ran a marathon.
Oh, wow.
He passed the bar, which, I mean, you guys are in the music industry, you probably have to know a lot of lawyers. And
yeah, I do know a lawyer, as a matter of fact. He's right above my head. Dave is a lawyer.
That's how I know Sam. Yeah. He's a sweet guy and a great lawyer.
I'm a guitarmist, which is a pharmacist that plays guitar. So, what we say in my house is pills pay the bills. You're playing guitar these days.
You could have said that 40 years ago and been right, too.
That's true, too.
Different bills.
Yeah.
Different bills. But, yeah, no, pharmacists and attorneys as, like the kid, I call them the kid generation, but I'm almost 50. But, Clapton can still come out and do 12 shows with Cream, but he's going to have his personal hygienist with him.
Yeah. Right.
Have his lawyer with him. And
hell yeah.
Chris is famous for having an entourage of every member having their attorneys and whatnot. Yeah, you guys are in the perfect business.
We are.
And we do this stupid show.
We do this just for fun.
I keep calling this show stupid. I actually love this show.
Yeah, me too.
It's definitely a labor of love.
Scott, tell them how much money Facebook sent us this week.
Oh, we made $9 last week.
Oh my gosh!
So I bought this Eddie Van Halen guitar with the $9. I had to kick in a little more, but
must be the import.
A few hundred more. I hope my wife is not watching this. It was like, I swear it was $100.
Did you see the one just released? I haven't even seen it on the racks yet, but Wolfgang made a semi-hollow version of that Axis style body.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I guess he'd been using a primer prototype for a couple of years, and it really harkens back to the Kramer, like Night Swans. I think it's got a Floyd on it. So
that's my shit. That's my shit. I love Floyd.
Like that. I love gear stuff, and if you can play a hollow body with a Floyd Rose and not explode,
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that should be very cool.
So you're very much involved in the design of Frank's line of guitars. This is the new blue color, if I'm correct.
Yeah, this was my, I say first, really is my first through sixth. That's how many prototypes. I'm looking at spare bodies around here. This is Dr. Frankenstein's lab. What I did was I took, you guys are correct if I say a word you're not allowed to say on the air, right?
You can say whatever you want.
Whatever you fucking want, you could say.
Yeah, we're not on PBS anymore.
Okay, so I want to say, I took the traditional single cut style. We all know it's a T style, but I don't know how much of that word you're allowed to say.
Oh, all right. I see what you're saying. You're not.
We wanted you to curse.
You're talking about the boys over at Fender getting upset with us, but we just, they haven't bothered us yet.
No.
Good. You're very lucky. That's what they love doing.
Yeah.
But my problem was I didn't start playing guitar till I was 20.
Okay.
I was a late bloomer too. I was probably about your same age in college. I didn't start. I was a drummer before then.
Okay, so I was on piano since I was 5.
Yeah.
I'm awesome about this. All of us in piano lessons, By age 15, I'm playing Thursday nights at a coffee shop, singing Billy Joel. And that affected how I approached guitar. I was like, well, I had to do lessons for piano, so I need to do lessons for guitar. Well, that's why the curve is here. Because you had to use those knee stands, for classical guitar, the lessons.
Right.
So I was used to propping up a leg, and I wanted to be able to practice like this. And this is how like a Frank Gabali holds the guitar. If you ever seen Frank, it's actually like up here. And he loved to just be there. But then you got Billy Joel Armstrong, who's you guitar at the same time. Yeah. But they get their sounds that way. And for me, it had to start with, I want that feeling of, is the first, and this is a warning, the first guitar you buy and love will mess you up forever. It's like the first person you date. It will mess your life up forever. You will never be the same. And so my first guitar was, oh my gosh, it's this hideous Strat I got on eBay for $80. The flaming head of Jerry Garcia spray painted on it, and one pickup. It was gross. But the scale and the feel, so I switched to an LP because Jimmy Page,
Right.
Then I got longer scales. Like, no, that's what feels right. Because that's what you get used to. That's what you spend those first.
So what kind of radius is Frank's guitar have? Is it more like a Telecaster kind of neck? Right.
Yeah, this is okay. So this is a 2-piece. Now you're looking at a 10-inch radius, and we have the inches on the site because Frank, I did not realize how many times he'd been around the world. He had a LP with a neck that felt a certain way. Well, you guys know, you play guitar for 30 years, your hand changes the shape of it.
Yep.
This is really based on the shape that his favorite guitar took. And we sent those to, thank God for CNC. They can tweak with that. But Frank just got the first Rosewood version, or should be getting it anytime now. He just said, look, man, I'm really a Rosewood guy. I'm a Maple guy. Eddie Van Halen, I think, said it best.
I've always had Rosewood guitars, but I'd be quite honest with you, I don't understand the feel and difference between the two.
Oh, I'm a Maple guy. And I look behind me and I have two Rosewoods behind me.
It's got to be a thing, right?
I feel like Maple's faster.
And that's it. There's this millisecond that you only understand if you play guitar. Alan Holdsworth, another fusion jazz guy I loved, talked about it. He said, hollow body guitar is slow. You play it, and it gives you this delay. And what I realized saying was, it actually echoes. The old Birdlands Ted Nugent has, it was super thick. I can get a similar effect just by turning on an echo pedal, because you get this, like a hiccup, kind of like the Brian Setzer, echo. But when it comes to the fretboard, and I think this was Steve Vai was saying this, you really aren't supposed to touch the fretboard. If you think about it, you think about the way he plays, and Yngwie Malmsteen too, he has those scallops.
Right.
You're really touching the frets. And Paul Reed Smith took it a step further and said, everything that string touches should be perfect. So that means from the tuner to the nut to the fret, all the way down to, this is a.
Is that, do the strings go through the body on that?
I feel like, yeah. And what I did, instead of doing the old version where you would route it out and slap on a top, because there's a lot of inconsistency there, we just made 2 electronics cavities and left one empty.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like genius. It takes way less time. You use less wood. You know, this one's pine. The reasons that it's pine is because, well, the first, Leo's first guitars were pine.
Right.
And in Michigan, there's pine everywhere. So
Yeah.
Right.
So is that a prototype guitar with the 3 different pickups, or is that the way it's sold now?
This is actually the first blue one off the production line.
Okay, so the new blue ones have the P90, a humbucker, and I guess another humbucker in the bridge there with the T style thing.
Right, the P90 right in the middle. I like that it's built into the bridge.
Oh yeah, that to me is so. The more you can make vibrate on a guitar, the bigger it sounds.
It's going to be brighter, I would think. Right?
And that whole area is going to have all, unless it's not magnetic, you're gonna get tone from that whole thing because it's connected right to the bridge.
You absolutely are. If I wanted to mellow it out, I could probably throw on graphite saddles, but I'm really, really happy with the way. I'm gonna get yelled at because I was gonna do this direct, but
no, we want to hear it. Nice and loud.
It's not a performance show, really, but if you can demonstrate it, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah, this is just clean neck position, and it's what happened. Oh.
Oh my God! How many times have you been to a gig and you're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" and you don't have the amp plugged in? We've all been there.
Yeah, I ruined another bar mitzvah. Oh my no! So you can kind of hear that.
There's a warmth to that tone.
Yeah, I expected it to be more twangy. Be honest.
Me too. I like that.
I went with Alnico 2.
That gives it a little bit more warmth.
Study all the way down to the magnets and how they're wound. A certain member of a certain custom shop was let go. That led John Mayer to leaving his endorsement. Well, the gentleman that left went to Las Vegas and talked to the Margesa family. They own Six Gun Music. These are hand wound in Las Vegas. Alnico 2 pickups, taught by, I can probably say his name, you can delete it later, John Cruz.
Okay.
So he was making guitars for Clapton and Page for their tours because they don't want to break in a new Strat. I mean, I got to think once you hit 60, that's just not a fun option.
No.
So he would weaken the magnets a little bit. The good guys do that. But Alnico 2, to me, is the least tone affecting of all of them. Like Alnico 5s and everything, it gives you a lot of bass. Need a little more in ceramic, but I specifically wanted Alnico 2 because I wanted the guitar to be what you are. Whatever you're going to put into it is what you're going to get out of it. I actually have the bass at the lowest setting on my amp.
Yeah, that was really in a good way. There was depth and warmth and sort of it was a wide signal.
So you're also taking some of the weight out of the body too by putting those 2
cutaways
in the back there, which are kind of hidden. Now, is that little F there? Is that hollowed out, or is that drawn into the body?
So, yeah, this is in one version.
Is it like an F? Is it like an F hole basically, or just the design?
It's Frank's F. We took one of his pictures he autographed. I cut the F out, sent it to the CNC shop, and this is what his actual signature looks like. He makes his F. So literally your signature guitar.
Right. And electronically knobs and switches down there. What have we got?
Sure. This is actually much simpler than it looks. And I kind of walk you through this. You're basically your volume and tone. I use either CTS or Burns, because the Burns have such a small fraction between each one, very consistent, and CTS US made. So these two are always in play.
Okay.
You got your 5 pitch, you got your neck, you know, that second position.
Right.
Middle's P90 by itself.
I like that.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I worked in a church for 15 years, and sometimes you'd need just a little different. So I'd throw a little chorus onto a P90. And you just get a little bit more than Strat style. So, but once you get down here, that's where this comes into play. Some people like the 2 humbucker sound.
Right.
This is the bridge. Turn it all the way. Bridge and neck.
Interesting.
Or you can roll it off if you find your bridge is just a little too bright. You want some of that. You can adjust it. And then in this 4th position, it's all 3 pickups.
Oh, wow.
That's the real Mark Knopfler. So I really think you can get about everything out of this. So
it's got some nice tone. I like all positions. I like the sound of that.
And do we have string cheese? I guess I'm hungry. String trees is what I was trying to say at the top. Or you don't need
around that by using both the tilt, and then these are staggered. Even though they're the split posts old-fashioned,
right?
They're staggered. So these are longer, slightly short.
Right. So staggered machine heads. Okay,
staggered poles. Yeah, I try to stay away from string trees. They rattle.
So yeah, the reason I brought up string trees because you were saying from the top of the guitar to the bottom, you don't want anything getting in the way, and a lot of times a string tree will do that to you.
Yeah,
especially those old ones. Yeah, Reverend, great company. They made a 3-string tree that's a solid metal bar, and it's beautiful.
Right.
They did a great job with that.
Yeah, there's been improvements in technology on virtually everything on a guitar these days.
Now, what about the nut? Is it, you have what's your nut made out of?
This is bone. So, we did go with bone on this, knowing you know. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. But I look at guys like Eric Johnson. He'll actually use plastic. Mm-hmm. So it just has to be done right. It has to be cut right. It has to be, you know, that's why the whole thing is made in one shop instead of trying to penny pinch.
Yep.
We're working together. So it's very, very cool.
It's a gorgeous guitar.
On average, how long does it take to manufacture a guitar? Do you have? Are they all made by hand, or it varies?
Well, you CNC the body, and that keeps the tolerances to like 1/8 the thickness of a human hair.
Wow.
You CNC the bodies, you CNC the neck. Then it's the paint process that takes a long time because I have metal sparkle in this.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now.
Yep, that's cool.
So they have to superheat the body to let the paint soak in. That takes 3 days.
I would think pine is pretty absorbent too, is it not?
We had to move to roasted pine because the bodies were collapsing.
Yeah, because that's a softer wood.
Very soft. I've got a new version coming out. I can't say that. I'm begging for them to let me release a new version that is made of a wood. We'll announce on another show.
Okay.
Everywhere, very sturdy, and could, you know, like I had trouble drilling it. I think I broke a drill bit.
Wow. Holy cow.
Wow.
But we had to go to roasted pine to at least toughen it up for the paint because pine is so
that makes
soft.
Sense.
It is.
But yeah, but we did a great job. It really, I still haven't dented it, and I've got at least 400 hours in on this.
Now that bridge, tell us about the bridge in that, because I love the look of that.
Yeah, these are actually kind of tough to find because these are 4-screw, and that's the old spec of some of the beginning guitars in the 50s. Usually you have 3. So there's a company called Babbitt's if you really want to go high end, but Schaller makes them for Fender, and Fender rebrands them, as their own.
Right.
So I was able to get the CNC specs to match up, and I like having the 4th screw because it just keeps it that much sturdier. It's just one less to adjust. I love the look. This says hot rod to me. This says let's go out and have a good time. I'm going to try to do some Brian Setzer stuff this summer. That's what this is supposed to be to me. And I think I could do just about everything on it.
So we say a lot of times on this show, and it goes, we bring this point up a lot with bands and everything. Know your audience. So who is your audience? What guitar player are you trying to target? Are we going after country guys, rock guys, everybody? Are we a niche type of thing, or we're sort of broad spectrum?
So one of the things I do is I let my mood, because I write a lot. I've written over 100 songs. I've recorded a couple albums, but I was in the church atmosphere for a long time. I don't want to say it doesn't always fit in, but if you're doing a farmer's market, you don't want anyone to be there and feel like you're playing music that maybe they're not going to plug into. Mm-hmm. So what I want to do is play something that makes you feel good while you're there, but that you don't worry about your kids hearing about.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I would do like Sloop John B, a little corny, but Brian Wilson's harmonies are amazing.
Of course.
Maybe
legendary.
Oh goodness, what a brain!
So they've been doing on the internet. One of the things I love on the internet they've been doing now is they've been isolating these things. So now with computers and the AI, you can isolate harmonies and even some of the disco songs. I didn't realize were so intricate with different beats and little things. And it was one song they had cowbell, but the cowbell changed pitch. But it's all in the background. You can't even tell.
That I've heard Jimi Hendrix's stuff. He would sometimes lay 4 or 5 rhythm lines down, and that's not what you expect from Hendrix. You know? But he really did love it. When I got to go to the studio in Canton, they had the original track to Bohemian Rhapsody. They had the reel-to-reel.
Wow.
And I hear Freddie.
Oh shit, we lost them. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Well, let's hopefully he'll log right back in.
Guitar Tales with Dave Cohn will return in a moment.
I do like that guitar. It's a good-looking guitar.
It's kind of odd in a good way.
Yeah.
Like it's not a standard body.
You know what I think, Scott?
What?
I think we could air this discussion. This is like an outtake that's not an outtake.
Shit, he dropped out?
Yeah, we could do that. And we could put this on the air. Because we always said it's always a show, right?
Yeah.
And he just got some uncensored compliments. We like the guitar. It's a little different.
And look, I listen, we could do the show with Frank. I got Frank right here. You want to see?
Yeah, let me see.
What I love about this guitar is that 1, it's lightweight. 2, it's made in the USA completely. And it's well constructed. You have a 100% guarantee. And we haven't had one of our guitars returned yet. But I love this guitar.
There you go. The man himself.
I like that.
It's probably Dave's fault. Please stand by. I'm just hoping that he realized he's got kicked off. Maybe his wife got mad at him. He was playing loud amplifier and pulled the plug on the whole show.
So is this the show now? Are we still doing it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? We always have something to say.
We do, man. I don't play enough guitar, Scott.
I'll teach you a couple of licks tomorrow when I see you in person. For
Yeah. So this will show you if I play enough guitar. What do you think the odds are that this is even in tune?
Oh, negative.
You think this Eddie? Oh, negative. Get it?
There's no way.
Let's see.
Those strings are probably old as shit.
No,
too.
it's in tune. Look at that.
Very good. All right. Oh, that was very Townsend-y. Don't promote the other guitar company where we're talking about
Yeah, I know.
Stallone guitars.
All right. Is he coming back?
I hope so. Let me see if I got an email from him.
Yeah.
Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen will return in a moment, as soon as we figure out what the heck is wrong with this stupid thing. Jeremy, come on.
Ooh.
What are you doing? Oh, he's back. He's back. Stop playing. I think he's back. I see sort of kind of there.
There we go.
With the magic of editing, none of this would have happened. We're
Hey,
still
you could
recording.
air the part when I was playing that little riff to make me feel good.
Yeah, you know me. I throw all kinds of shit together. I know my stuff.
You do.
Jeremy.
Isn't Cooper a golfer, like, for real? Like, isn't he ranked worldwide? You talked
Who's
about
that?
him?
What's that?
Alice Cooper, when you guys first started?
Oh, yeah. I think he really is. I think he's like a real golf player.
Oh,
Yeah.
a ranked player.
Yeah.
I have no video. I have no video of you, Jeremy, but I can hear you.
Oh,
But that's all right.
switches
With
to the
the magic of editing, the show
Is
will
that
be
better?
flawless.
Yes.
It will be. Perfect. Hold on, let me.
We'll get him back.
this one
Well,
good.
we have faith.
I'm
Hey,
glad
guess what? You know
this
how
is
I know we'll get him back? Eye of the Tiger.
Wrong brother.
Go.
I know.
I am wearing
coming
my
through?
Say When shirt from Tombstone that Frank was in.
Oh, come on.
So we had a little bit of technical difficulty. So as cool as Jeremy looks, we're going to have some pictures in front of him right now. We were just finishing up the interview. We had a little bit of technical problems with connectivity. So Jeremy, let's take a little bit of a side trip right now. And if you can, tell us how you and Frank Stallone first connected with each other.
You know, it's funny, kind of at a time where we were all inside for a long time.
Oh, you mean
Right.
that crazy COVID thing?
Yeah, just keep getting at you depending on how you say it. So I just don't say it. So,
This is a
but,
COVID-free show. We can't possibly catch each other's germs anymore.
No.
that's probably true. That's probably good. I was looking for a double cut LP style. And the one I had my eye on was $2,000. Well, I'm a big fan of Guitar One. I see a blue, beautiful double cutaway 2 humbucker and it says Frank Stallone Guitars. And I go to the website. I send an email. The CEO calls me the next day. His name's GJ, Gary Penapento. And we just get to talk, and I get a guitar. I make about 20 videos for him just to show him, you know, here's how I play, here's what I like doing.
Right.
So they make me an ambassador. And ironically, and this is going to kind of sound funny, face to face, never been in the same room with Frank. But
wow.
On the first birthday, yeah. So he's had to look at my stuff and go, God, that sucks. And all I see is the version of it. I'm like, oh. Not anything I played, but some of the original design ideas. And but for his birthday, I had a custom Western themed guitar strap made for him with his logo and his last name. And there's a video of him and Sly and GJ at a table, and they're pulling it out. Oh, Jeremy, thanks. It's great. And that was a surreal moment seeing Frank and Sly hanging out. And we've had some back and forth. He'll say something nice on Instagram when I don't screw it up too bad. And, he never screws up, so I'm always saying good things. But it hit me. Frank was so important to me growing up, and I didn't even know it. This is a guy most people don't know has 30 albums out there. He has, I think, 10 gold albums, some platinum albums. But in Rocky 1 and 2, there were 3 people who changed my life. Of course, Sylvester Stallone, never give up. You don't have to be the smartest. You probably should be a pretty good looking Italian, but if you can't pull that off, whatever.
I'm just saying.
Carl Weathers looked as good in a suit booking as he did in the ring. I was like, how can you be so good at both sides of business?
It's true.
That too. But then there's a scene of a group of guys around a flaming trash barrel singing.
Take it back. Do 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 do. Take it back.
Take me back. Do do do. Yeah. And in both Rocky 1 and 2, because they did 2 Kinds of Love after the wedding, I realized 3 characters were all parts of what I hoped I could be. Could I have the drive of someone who is never going to give up? It doesn't matter if he's the floors or whatever. Can I get as smart in the office as I am in the ring? I couldn't throw a punch with a sling, but what Frank did, and I watched it the other day. You can see it's cold outside. He's hitting the first tenor, and I'm like, that's not fair. That's not right. But he did it, and the story of how he continued to grow, you really got to look into how he ended up doing the work he did on Saturday Night Fever. No, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Staying Alive, which was the sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
Right.
Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, but then they weren't available for other music. So he goes with Sly to Travolta's house. I guess Sly's like, don't say anything. He puts it in one of his tapes, and Travolta loves the sound of Frank's music, and he gets the gig and writes the biggest hit of his life. It just
crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's very good stuff. And then, so you really just through your fandom, really, you manifested this relationship that you have right now.
Right, and you got to put the asterisk there, because this is what's, I think, lost on. I'm not going to call anyone out, but the 25 and 30-year-old musicians, they are getting trampled in the live scene. And what I mean is, my drummer made it. I didn't make it. He was opening for Third Eye Blind. He did a full summer tour, he and another friend. But I was like, I can't do 280 days on the road. B.B. King has the record for 365 days touring in 1 year.
Wow.
And he didn't get to play nice venues till he was almost 50.
Which is amazing. Yeah.
Real late bloomer there.
Incredible. He was another guy. He had to go to England, him and Hendrix. They had to go to England and come back with Clapton to be popular. Clapton's like, don't you realize they're geniuses?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Eric. But,
so, Jeremy, how do we find Stallone guitars? I know I have the QR code up here and everything, but they're only available from Frank's website, correct? Okay.
Correct. At this point, we have nothing in retail. The guitars, this one was going to be called something else to do with muscle cars, but Frank liked it so much he called it the Stallion, and when they give you that tag, that's no joke. That was 5 years well spent. It's
Oh yeah.
a lot of work. Just keep working, keep going. It's never a waste of time to work.
Is there a delay in ordering, or in other words, you have plenty of stock on hand, right? You're not making them one at a time. Like somebody orders it and you make it, you order another one, you make it. You have an inventory, right, that you can pretty much get them out right away.
10 recently because we don't want stuff sitting. So just what happens the next and things.
Right.
But we still have a good amount of inventory. The company that runs the CNCs is doing some guitar shows in Texas and Nashville coming up. They're going to take some of these on the road for more people to see. And I've slowly reached out to a couple of managers, but really go to the website. And the greatest thing is, well, not the greatest, I have videos playing this stuff. Frank took this down to Norm's Rare Guitars, took 2 of them. Lemo did a great video. Frank did a great video. So you get to see that. But the CEO will call you if you want to be in touch, answer all the questions, and then he'll give you my email information so I can answer the rest of the questions.
We actually have a video of the boss here talking about his guitars.
Yeah, let's watch it right now.
Set up for you right now.
What I love about this guitar is that 1, it's lightweight. 2, it's made in the USA completely. And it's well constructed. Give 100% guarantee. And we haven't had one of our guitars returned yet. But I love this guitar.
There you go.
Love that tone. So this has been really fabulous. And you know what I love? I love the fact that, you come on and you have such pride in your product. And it's clear to Scott and I that there's quality through and through in this guitar, and a lot of thought, and dare I say, a lot of love went into this guitar. You could just tell. So,
yeah, I do. I literally everything else is in a case. I'm looking at a $2,000 custom shop guitar in a closed case right now because this has become my go-to. It's everything I ever wanted, and I got the chance to do it. It just took.
Well, good for you. It's a good story.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for joining us too. We really appreciate it.
Bless you both. I'm hungry for cake now for some reason.
I have an ice cream cake downstairs, Dave. I forgot all about it. Should I bring it to your house for your birthday tomorrow? Or should I eat it here before I get there?
Eat it there. Amy's bringing a really cool cake. So
all right, so you don't need my ice cream cake.
It's like a custom shop cake for me.
But it's Carvel. Remember gravelly voice Tom Carvel?
Tom Carvel.
You're old enough to know that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm the Mikey for
Tom Carvel. Yeah.
At the Fudgy the Whale cake.
Fudgy the Whale.
Yeah.
we got a whale cake from my dad for Father's Day, and we wrote on it, "Dad, you're a whale."
I love it.
That's your story.
That's a good story.
And he did eat the whole thing, the whale.
Yeah, that's funny.
Your dad doesn't have brass knuckles, I can tell right now.
All righty. Well, this has been a fabulous night. Thank you again, Jeremy, for joining us tonight. And Scott, why don't you get some out information for us? Make the people happy.
What kind of information?
I don't know. We have great guests coming up.
Oh yeah, we have
that kind of stuff.
We got stuff happening. We're still doing our streams every Thursday. We're catching up though.
We are.
And a lot of our past guests are on the road making it happen. We should thank our friends Jeremy Asbrock and Ryan Spencer Cook for having us at the Ace Frehley show in New York City a few weeks ago.
We had drinks with them. That was so
really
much fun.
Cool for them to come out to a rainy sidewalk. Well, he sent one of his cronies out there.
Yeah.
A guy was looking around the sidewalks, and I said to my wife, "I think he's looking for us," because I just texted Ryan, and he goes, "Are you Scott?" He was like, "Secret. Hey, Bud. Remember that from the Muppets? Hey, Bud, you want to get a laminate to come backstage and meet Ace Frehley?" But it was a lot of fun. The band was great. Ace was on fire. Not literally, of course. That's another news story. We don't want to talk about that.
That's right.
And it was really great. So I want to thank those two guys for hooking us up and getting us backstage and saying hi to Lara and Ace and everybody. They did a great show.
Well, that is some good information. And don't forget, if you watch our show and you don't hate it, and even if you do hate it, subscribe, hit like, because our numbers really are getting quite nice with Facebook and with YouTube. The more you pretend to like us, the more of these shows we can get your way. So with that, we want to thank you, and we will see you next time on Guitar Tales.
Adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I'm number two. I'm number two. No, I was the second. That's right. I was the second one. The second on Guitar Tales, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching it right now. I'm Big Daddy Ed with the Amish Outlaws. I gotta go back to work. Here we go. Guitar Tales, watch it!